Hi everyone, I'm Lukas, one of the co-founders of the company Sablono. And we've been running Sablono for 8 years now. Do a lot of business in the UK, about 50% of our revenue comes from the UK. And I'm more than happy to be here for the fourth time to show you a glimpse into the future of construction and construction management / project controls. We strongly believe that the future of construction tech belongs to platforms, and I'm more than happy to show you what I mean by that and explain that in a bit more detail. So, as Causeway already mentioned, and probably everyone who works in digitization and innovation for construction knows about those slides of, oh, construction doesn't improve their productivity, and everyone gets hammered for that. And in the end, the industry, I think, is almost sick of hearing that, which I can completely understand. So I don't want to use it against the industry. I consider Sablono as a part of the industry. And we basically want to help the industry. We also want to help through digitization, but what we currently see in the industry is that digitization has almost been seen as the holy grail to improve productivity. And sometimes we tend to forget that we're still people who need to change in order to embrace technology, and that construction projects are still being executed by people and not in an assembly line as yet. We all want to get there, but construction probably more often than not makes the mistake of looking at stuff that works cool in other industries and then trying to implement that at the start, basically run before they can walk. So when we look at those developments, we also see that in digitization from our space, or from our view, because what tends to happen on the projects is that we go out for a single project and we just buy a lot of cool new tech, and we buy what we would call point solutions. And one thing that I learned on our very first UK project with a very savvy project director, he looked at this trend himself and he said, look, we buy all this tech, but in the end, what do we have? We have another cool tool to document the car crash because the projects are not really improving. And he basically, we had a long discussion about that. And he said, well, the issue that I'm having is that most of those solutions that we are employing are not really changing construction as a whole. They're not influencing the project team as a whole. They are usually influencing and supporting single individuals on a project, like a package manager who understands a bit more quickly where his package is going, or a commercial manager who can now automate the billing process based on a cool PDF technology. But where is that solution that somehow creates a platform for individuals in project teams and really emphasizes and improves the life of the whole project team and the day-to-day of the whole project team? Because as you've heard numerous times today already, when we look at the projects, we still spend a lot of time on non-value creating work. Spend a lot of time filling Excel trackers, reporting in digital systems, but not really driving the value. And what's more, general contractors actually spend a lot of time managing people with insufficient tools. So if we look at all of that, we from Sablono perspective said, okay, let's take a step back and let's have a look at how do we actually manage the jobs in terms of execution management, everything that happens on site or off site, and how would you guys measure productivity? Coming back to that, oh, construction doesn't improve their productivity. Measure to improve. So how would we measure it? And when we look at the current tools, the way we manage and measure is, as I mentioned, Excel trackers, is marked up drawings, is some pen and paper being used and filed in a silo, but it doesn't really support information flow, coordination, collaboration. It creates a lot of silos, and we not only find those silos in execution management and productivity management, we also find those silos in quality management. And yes, maybe there is a quality solution, a snagging solution to manage snags. But again, now quality itself sits in a silo and is disconnected from execution management. But quality management is a very strong part of execution management. There is no execution, or bad quality doesn't lead to good execution. It leads to rework. So how do we combine execution management, productivity overviews, and quality? And then the third layer, we see the same topics in commercial managers, package managers creating their own Excel overviews. I'm not against Excel. I think it's a perfect tool to start also with the digitization effort and start structuring your minds. But as Mota said, there's a collaboration aspect missing, and this centralized aspect is missing, because SharePoint doesn't really help us with that. And most of the construction projects don't necessarily use SharePoint. So we went out and we said, how can we do this differently? What can we improve? And that's actually also why we're doing that. We want to give construction a digital backbone for execution management. We see this as a collaboration, because construction supply chains tend to become very complex with numerous different contractors, 20, 30 subcontractors, who all have to be managed in a very controlled way, and they have to execute their work in a very sequential way, but in the same location at different times and in different sequences. And managing that through Excel, also separated for different packages into different files and silos, is not the way to improve flow on construction site, and is not the way to improve collaboration on the construction site. So for that purpose, we designed the Sablono platform as a construction execution system, as we called it. It's a system that can hold all of the activities that have to be executed on the construction side or in offsite fabrication. Looking at modern methods of construction, that tends to happen more and more. It actually happened in the very first project that we employed Sablono on, or deployed Sablono onto, that there was some hybrid element of something being produced offsite rather than directly on site. And that again leads to the requirement, an even stronger requirement for a digital collaboration platform. And that collaboration platform we view as Sablono. Currently, as I mentioned, we are working with people. So the entry point for data collected in the field is a mobile handheld, is an app that shows construction workers and foremen and construction managers the activities that they have to execute in specific locations or on specific deliverables. And they, with a very simple push of a button, can say everything is working well, and yes, I started my work, I finished my work. They can offer it up for inspection with integrated quality modules. They can take any photo if things are not working as expected, an obstruction material has not been delivered, or the previous trade hasn't left the location in a tidy situation, so we won't commence our work. All of that through a very simple interface, but loads and loads of data points that you can collect around that to finally be able to measure productivity in a very high resolution, and to measure quality in a high resolution, and then use that information for commercial valuation. I mentioned before that we started out 8 years ago, and here's a bit of an overview of our journey. And I like pretty much also with everyone who presented today already, this view of, we consider ourselves a partner. We think that construction technology and really improving construction is a long way to go, and that's very common, because the projects are usually long cycles, and each project itself is almost like its own business entity, and we view it as the same thing, and therefore we've developed this platform always alongside our major customers. We, from the first project, have been dragged into major projects, large-scale projects, where you have to oversee 100,000 activities and more. That's what we scaled the solution to, usually with an element of repetition. Prefabricated facade panels, for example, 5,000 of them. You have a repetition in the process. And over the years, we developed the platform from a progress tracking solution into an integrated task and quality management solution that also supports commercial valuations in the field. And as Phil mentioned in the beginning, when I was introduced like an hour ago, we managed to now take the next step and raise our Series A investment. And yes, Nemetschek is co-investor, but more importantly, we were able to really get an experienced entrepreneur in the platform space from a CDE perspective, with Tom Bachmeier, who started Think Project and founded Think Project 20 years ago, like as the first generation platform in CDEs, and who now joined our board. And therefore, obviously, we want to spread Sablono. We are hiring, we're investing this into hiring. UK is a strong market for us. Germany is our base market. We started out in Germany. We're currently hiring for sales, marketing, customer success. Please feel free to reach out directly to me if you're interested in any position. And to give you a bit of an overview of what we are actually then doing on the sites, a bit of video material around that. What you see here is a trade localizing themselves or himself in a location. They see a simple list of tasks. What do I need to do? And they report with a push of a button whether they were able to execute that, and they can offer up the work for inspection, leading to data points and leading to direct insights by construction managers in the site office, but also in head office. So you receive an unprecedented level of detail, unprecedented project insights into the three key areas of project delivery, which is time, quality, and cost. And that data for us is always very important to communicate that data efficiently. So we spend a lot of time and effort into understanding what actually helps. And what we see a lot on the construction sites is still 2D marked up drawings, but we always thought, what's the better way? So how does that data flow in? What you see here in the background is 6,000 facade panels on a 300-meter high tower, need to be produced, dispatched, delivered, installed. And with a push of a button, you see a complete overview of that process, the data flowing in from the site, and you understand immediately how your process is running. We can not only do that for facade elevations, but you can also do that for general arrangements, always with the goal to communicate very effectively with the trades and the subcontractors. Here you see a typical example from lean construction management, general arrangement, and then zones and activities that need to be executed in those zones. Full transparency. Where are my trades currently? What are they doing? What has been achieved and what not? Updating the plan in a lean fashion with micro planning is available as well, as is exporting that data into additional formats or sources, so that you can actually work away with the data and use it in Power BI or update your P6 schedule or integrate it with additional systems. In terms of value, we always like to drive up collaboration and project atmosphere. We want to give value, provide value to everyone in the supply chain, and the feedback that we receive from subcontract is, yes, it helps me completely to understand my work, and the benefit for the main contractor is it fosters collaboration between subcontractors and main contractors, leading to tremendous savings on jobs, things like tens of thousands of pounds per month that you can save in non-value added work towards value added work is exactly what we're looking for.
Love the quantification. That's really good.
All right. Okay, I thought that was the sign for me to stop.
No, you can take another couple minutes. You're fine.
Cool. All right. Looked like the sign to stop. So we always do the math, and we look into what are we actually achieving, and because residential is quite a market for us, we always break it down to number of units in the end. And I always find it really interesting to see that you can save in non-value added work, you can save up to £100 per resi unit per month that you deliver in, as I said, non-value adding work. And another item around that is the quality of the data that you achieve, which, if things don't work well, and that's still reality in construction, if things don't work well, you know exactly what has happened on site, because you have a complete audit trail of the full execution cycle of your project. And you can basically go into any day and talk about any claim, such as, I didn't have enough work on site, but all my people were on site, from a main contractor perspective, and can discuss and compromise on that claim with very hard facts and data. And one project where we've done this successfully, or where our client has done this successfully, also still in collaboration, not in terms of a fighting atmosphere. 200 units in central London, about 75 million in project value, and a claim of 750,000 pounds was settled at about 70,000 pounds. So in the end, the data almost saved 1%. What was that? 1% of the project value. The data in the system saved 1% of the project value and returned that to the main contractor. Very briefly on the vision, that's actually a slide that's 8 years old. We're still working towards that together with the industry. We believe in the current trends that we see on site. We believe in building information modeling. We believe in lean construction management, and we also believe in modern methods of construction. And we believe in having to design a platform that works with those trends and brings them together in a digital capacity. So the way we see this going is to use the design and the information that we have in a design, in a detailed building model, take the elements from that model, and now the Sablono part kicks in, which is attaching what we would call processes or sequences of work to those components, so that you can transform a digital design into an intelligent production model, and then run that in collaboration on site as basis for integrated delivery, which then in the end will deliver the construction execution platform as the digital backbone for construction 4.0. And it's, from our view, the necessary piece to enabling construction 4.0, because if we ever want to get robots onto the construction site, there needs to be a system that understands what to tell those robots what to do next. Otherwise, it will be robots steered by people, but it should be a system steering systems. Please get in touch to discuss your project, to discuss our hiring opportunities. Look forward to speaking to you and getting to know your challenges and opportunities.